Baby, it's hot outside. And whether you whip up a pitcher of slushy margaritas or unwind with a frosty iced tea, nothing quenches our thirst like a long, cold drink. But what are the best cool quenchers around? Coming up, a sinfully refreshing treat that was the result of a national scandal, a stormy cocktail that packs such a powerful punch, just a couple will knock you out, and America's most patriotic beverage gets a warm weather makeover. Plus, the ultimate way to stay cool while working on a tan. All this and more as we count down the top 5 cool quenchers. Hi, I'm Bobby Rivers, and welcome to Top 5, where we count down foods that are fun, foods that are famous, and foods that are just plain fabulous. Imagine this. You're stranded in the desert, dying of thirst. You start fantasizing about a long, cold drink to soothe your parched throat. What is it? A glass of ice water? A cold Coke? A frosty 7-Eleven Slurpee? Well, we think we found some of the most refreshing ways to quench your thirst and beat the heat on our countdown of Top 5 Cool Quenchers. When the thermometer shoots up, we escape the heat by jumping into pools, hitting the beach, and sipping, slurping, and guzzling frosty cool drinks. Even summertime dining fare gets lighter, and there's no better way to kick off a meal on a hot day than with our number 5 pick, gazpacho. From bouillabaisse to consommé, soup's the ultimate comfort food, and almost 3/4 of us have at least one bowl of soup a week. Although it's hot and satisfying in winter, our favorite comfort food gets the big chill in summer.
Not all soup is intended to be hot. Gazpacho is meant to be served chilled in the summer.
If it gets too hot, you don't have to get out of the kitchen. Just whip up a delightful bowl of that Spanish favorite, gazpacho. Olé!
Gazpacho is from a region of Spain called Andalusia, which is a southern region of Spain.
The refreshingly cool liquid salad is a centuries-old recipe traditionally eaten by workers in the fields. Made with ripe tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, garlic, and onion, it eventually became a refreshing favorite during the long, hot Mediterranean summers, and by the 30s, it was a national favorite in Spain. It arrived stateside in the 60s, partly because of America's new infatuation with blenders and foreign foods. An American cookbook published in 1963 states that the soup salad of Spain has become an American food fashion. Today, it's still fashionable at trendy restaurants like New York's Suba, which serves 2 different versions, the traditional red kind,
This is the very classic gazpacho. Voilà.
And a modern version with a twist.
Flavors are more subtle, it's lighter, there's no bread. All the strongly flavored ingredients are blanched to make their flavors more subtle and a little bit more sophisticated. The color is also different. It's yellow, it's not red.
And that's not the only difference.
There's a little bit of theater in the way that we serve the gazpacho, in that we bring out a bowl first in which you have a tomato water ice cube, and then the waiter comes with a carafe of the chilled gazpacho and pours it into the bowl in front of the customer.
Trendy restaurants across the country are rediscovering gazpacho as a great start to a summer meal.
Gazpacho is a fantastic flavor, and the flavor, despite the fact that it's cold, the flavor is very intense. It's chilled, so it's very refreshing in the summer.
Served with a chilled glass of white wine, Spain's salad in a soup is a cool, delicious, and delightful way to put the chill on summer eating. It sure beats slaving away over a hot grill. No wonder our number 5 pick is gazpacho. Another cold soup favorite is vichyssoise, that wonderful French soup made of leeks and potatoes. But guess what? It's not really French. Vichyssoise was actually created in America in 1910 by a chef at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel right here in New York City. Now, for a really indulgent way to beat the heat, you've got to check out our number 4 pick, the Swim Up Bar. Whew, it's hot outside. Time for a dip in the pool. America's love affair with the swimming pool really took off in the 1950s as families made the move to the suburbs. In 1947, there were only 11,000 pools in the U.S. 15 years later, there were more than 300,000. Even when traveling to tropical islands with soft sandy beaches, most American tourists couldn't tear themselves away from hotel pools. Resorts got the hint and, taking cues from nature, began creating lush tropical oases with grottos, water slides, waterfalls, and, in a stroke of genius, swim-up bars.
The poolside bar and swim-up concept originated in the late 60s, early 70s, and was quite popular nationwide at resort hotels, and certainly in the Caribbean to this day is very popular.
Talk about convenient. You can swim up, grab a drink, and continue floating in the cool blue water, working on your tan and never break a sweat.
The great idea to the swim-up bar is just that. People get to come up without having to leave the water and get cool, have a seat on the one of our seats there built into the pool, and able to order a drink and enjoy it right there at the pool or take it back with them.
Since it opened in 1986, the social hub of Tucson, Arizona's La Paloma Resort and Spa is Sabino's Pool Bar and Grill.
The bar, it's kind of the social center of the poolside area here, as we're situated against the Santa Catalina Mountains, and the guests just like to come here and enjoy the view and have a little chat with the bartender.
Perhaps discussing which fruity concoction would be the best bet for beating the heat.
My personal favorite, we have a mudslide, which is a French vanilla bean ice cream that has chocolate as well as vodka and Bailey's blended to perfection, which is very nice as you're enjoying the sunshine. We also have a blue margarita as well as a pina colada, which probably is one of our most popular sellers.
For something less intoxicating, there are also non-alcoholic smoothies made with fresh fruit and a whole menu of poolside treats.
We have fresh chips, salsa made fresh here at the property, and everyone's favorite, fresh Mexican Gulf shrimp.
And if the effort of getting up from your lounge chair to even take a dip is beyond you, don't fret. Waiters will happily deliver cocktails right to your chair. Combining two summer essentials, the pool and the frozen cocktail, it would be hard to find a cooler way to quench your thirst than our dip and sip pick for number 4, the Swim Up Bar. There are lots of stories about how that quintessential summertime quencher, the margarita, was discovered, but the most popular gives credit to a Dallas hostess named Margarita Sames, who threw a party at her vacation home in Acapulco and, on a dare, had to create a new drink. Margarita mixed tequila with Cointreau and lime juice. The result became a cocktail classic. Thank you, Margarita. When we come back, the story of how Prohibition inspired one of the South's stormiest brews. Plus, our number 2 pick offers a slushy twist on one of the world's most popular beverages. It's all coming up as we continue counting down the top 5 cool quenchers. Welcome back to Top 5, where we're counting down the top 5 cool quenchers. Believe it or not, one way to cool off during a heat wave is to eat spicy foods. Why? Because they make you sweat, and sweating cools you off. Well, one of the best places in the country to get spicy food is New Orleans, home to spicy food. But it's also home to our number 3 pick, the Hurricane. Life may not always be easy in the Big Easy, but it sure is fun. New Orleans' unofficial motto is, let the good times roll. And in a city with over 3,000 bars, roll they do. And arguably the most famous bar of them all is the one that's located in the heart of the French Quarter at 718 St. Peter. Over 1 million visitors a year pass through Pat O'Brien's to pose at the Flaming Fountain, sample some delicious food, and gulp down one of the most famous cocktails in the world, the Hurricane.
Really, that's what made us famous, is this big red drink. And it's always been strong, and it's always been fruity, and it's been a hit.
But before the hurricane, there was prohibition. Pat O'Brien started out running a speakeasy known as Mr. O'Brien's Club Tipperary. The password to get in was "Storms Brewin'." During World War II, whiskey was hard to come by, but rum was cheap. So after much experimenting, Pat came up with a recipe for a huge rum and fruit flavored drink that packed a mighty wallop. The Hurricane was invented.
People can only handle a couple of them because it is a lot. It's the equivalent would be 4 drinks to this one drink if you're counting ounces. So yeah, that's a lot. We've had people come in this bar, huge wrestler type people and big guys, and they can pretty much just have a couple of them.
The Hurricane is still served in the original 26-ounce Hurricane glasses that gave it its name.
The story is that a glass salesman came in, presented this Hurricane lamp glass to Charlie Cantrell and Pat O'Brien, and paired the glass with the drink, and voila.
And from the start, the Hurricane was a hit, guaranteed to make you forget the heat and whatever else ailed you.
Everybody comes to New Orleans and asks for one of these. It's a little bit of ice, 4 ounces of Pat O'Brien's Hurricane rum. Pour each shot at a time. And 4 ounces of Pat O'Brien's Hurricane cocktail mix. And there you go. Pat O'Brien's world famous Hurricane. 2 straws, orange, and a cherry.
So what exactly is in that mysterious Hurricane mix, you ask? We wish we could tell you, but it's a closely guarded secret.
It is a secret recipe that only 2 people have, and we're not going to tell you what's in it, although the base is a passion fruit mix.
Not that it really matters, because after just one you really won't care what's in it, but it must be good because Pat O'Brien sells over 1 million Hurricanes a year.
When you let it sit for a little bit, especially on a warm day like this, you let it sit and the ice mixes with the mix and the rum, and it actually tastes a little bit better after it mellows out a little bit. It needs to mellow out. Definitely. When you take that first sip, it bites a little bit. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't even realize that you're drinking 4 ounces of alcohol. And then it hits you like a brick. Hits you like a hurricane.
Talk about a fruit drink with a real punch. We bet you can't come up with a stronger way to cool off than our stormy pick for number 3, the Hurricane. According to legend, the term cocktail was born in New Orleans. A Big Easy pharmacist mixed up some bitters with cognac in a French egg cup known as a cocktail. The mispronunciation of this is said to be the first cocktail. When we come back, America's most patriotic beverage gets a warm weather makeover. Then it's on to our number 1 pick, a cool concoction that was the result of a national scandal. It's all happening right here when we continue counting down the top 5 cool quenchers. Did you know 7-Eleven registered the term brain freeze in 1994 to describe the painful joy of drinking a frozen Slurpee beverage? Welcome back to Top 5. We've been counting down the top 5 cool quenchers, and we're coming up to our choice for number 2. Can you guess what the most patriotic drink in America is? If you guessed coffee, you're right. Now, the heavy tea tax imposed on the colonies in 1773 prompted the Boston Tea Party, resulting in America switching from tea to coffee. And one great byproduct of our love affair with hot coffee is cold coffee, especially our frosty, frothy, and fabulous number 2 pick, the coffee slushie. Americans are mad about coffee. Whether it's a basic hot coffee, espresso, or cappuccino, over half of us jumpstart our morning with a cup. We drink about 5,000 coffees a second, 24 hours a day. But when the weather gets steamy, that hot cup of joe loses some of its appeal. So what do we do to get our caffeine rush and stay cool at the same time? Well, we can thank Starbucks for the solution. From the company that put gourmet coffee on the map in 1971 came another innovation, the Frappuccino. Introduced in 1995, this tall, frothy concoction concoction of ice, coffee, milk, and powdered flavors took the U.S. by storm. Soon it seemed every coffee house in the country had its own version, and the number of people who drank a cold coffee item rose from 38 million in 1999 to almost 50 million today. And Buster's Ice Cream and Coffee Stop in Pasadena, California came up with a delectable coffee treat that's a slushy twist on the Frappuccino.
I believe the difference between a Frappuccino and our version that we call freezes is that we use fresh espresso, and then the powder we use doesn't have a lot of artificial stuff in it. And then we're making them fresh, meaning we don't have, it's not like a concentrate.
Coming up with just the right mix wasn't easy.
We tried to come up with the perfect recipe by checking out different things, and we wanted to have it taste really like coffee, not so sweet, because a lot of the ones out there, they're really sweet. And what it is, it's ice blended with chocolate powder, a little bit of chocolate syrup, and fresh espresso and milk. Blend it all up.
Really good. Wow.
The other big hit at Buster's is the Frosted Mocha, guaranteed to chase away the heat.
It's a double shot of cold espresso and milk, and then vanilla ice cream with a shot of chocolate. We blend it up as a shake, and it's really, really good. Gives you that coffee buzz you want, plus the sugar.
While sales of icy slushies do spike in the summer, they're an all-year treat.
It's not just like having a hot cup of coffee or a cold coffee drink. It's really a treat.
Today's coffee beverages are a delicious and refreshing mix of shaved ice, whipped cream, flavorings, ice cream, you name it. Coffee's no longer just for breakfast, but dessert too. What better way to chill out and rev up than our number 2 pick, the coffee slushie. So, how much do you need that cup of coffee? Well, in 1683, William Penn spent $4.68 on a pound of coffee in New York. So what you say? Well, that amounts to around $108 today. And that's caffeinated. Coming up, the moment you've been waiting for, our number 1 cool quencher. It's a creation so heavenly delicious, it was even named for a holy day. When and where was the first reported cup of coffee served as a cafe item? 1409, Jerusalem, 1686, Paris, or 1220, Malta? The answer when we come back. Welcome back to Top 5. Before the break, we asked when and where was the first reported cup of coffee served as a cafe item? Was it 1409, Jerusalem? Was it 1686, Paris? Or was it 1220, Malta? The answer is B, 1686, in Paris. And now it's time to reveal our number 1 cool quencher. But before we do, let's recap. At number 5, the summer soup that gives us a big chill, gazpacho. The Dip and Sip Swim Up Bar is number 4. The Stormy Hurricane blows in at number 3. Number 2, the decadently uplifting Coffee Slushie. And the number 1 cool quencher, supersized sundaes. Ice cream, you scream. Who doesn't scream for an ice cream sundae on a hot summer day? But did you know that the sundae was the result of a ban on ice cream sodas? At the turn of the last century, a hot date meant a trip to the local soda fountain where courting couples cooled down over a frosty ice cream soda. Supposedly created in 1874, the drink became a national craze. In fact, municipalities passed laws forbidding the sale of soda water on Sundays because the righteous were very much against sucking soda on the Sabbath. Hey, we're not making this up. It wasn't long before a solution was created. It was the sundae. It had the ice cream, syrup, and whipped cream of the soda, but without the evil influence of soda water, so it could be served on Sundays. Eventually, the final Y was replaced with an E to avoid upsetting religious leaders. Today, it's a treat we enjoy every day of the week. especially at Jackson's Ice Cream Parlor, where every day is Sunday. Since 1956, Jackson's, a South Florida landmark, has been making homemade ice cream the old-fashioned way.
There's no secret to ice cream, it's what you put in it. This is chocolate chips, pure chocolate chips. These are the blackjack cherries. Look at those cherries there.
There are over 50 flavors of ice cream to choose from, like classic chocolate and vanilla to exotic tropical flavors like mango and passion fruit, arranged any way you want them.
I finished my banana split. I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Hey, that's nothing compared to a Jackson specialty. You've heard the expression, everything but the kitchen sink? Well, at Jackson's Ice Cream Parlor, you actually get the kitchen sink. Talk about the ultimate cool quencher. Working your way through the supersized sundae, a sink full of delicious ice cream, syrup, whipped cream, and nuts, it's guaranteed to bring your temperature down.
When you order it, it comes out in a sink. It's got all kinds of ice creams in it, your choice, with fruits and nuts and toppings and cherries and a sparkler on top. And don't forget the American flag.
Okay, sink in the window. Pick it up. Sink in the window.
Even with a fair warning, customers are always surprised by the super size of this tasty treat. Still not enough to cool you off? Well, hold on to your hats. Are you ready for this? It's the ultimate indulgence. The surest way to freeze out the heat, the sinfully decadent Punch Bowl.
The Punch Bowl is our largest creation, containing somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 pounds of ice cream, a couple of quarts of toppings, and everything else that goes along with it. Bananas, nuts, cherries. This is my favorite part of the job here. Kind of like playing in a food sandbox. Cherry pineapple. Finally, a couple of our special Jackson sparklers. Jackson's Punch Bowl.
Now that's an ice cream sundae. It's enough to cool off an entire neighborhood. And if there's any left, don't sweat it.
Well, if they don't finish them, we have a doggy bag. They can take it home.
Is there a more heavenly way to cool off on a hot summer day than working your way through a sinfully decadent bowl of cool and refreshing ice cream? We don't think so. That's why our #1 pick is supersized sundaes. Jackson's is such a popular landmark in Dania Beach, Florida, that the city named November 2001 Jackson's Ice Cream Parlor Month. Not bad. Well, we hope we've given you some refreshing ideas for cooling off this summer with our top 5 cool quenchers. If you want more cool information on this show, just visit our website at foodnetwork.com. I'm Bobby Rivers, and I'll see you next time right here on Top 5.